1972, an election year. And once again, black people are running for their lives. Reasons are things like the King Alfred Plan, the concentration camps that were used during the Second World War to house Oriental Americans are now being refurbished to confine their new residents, i.e., black people. Brothers and sisters, there is a place for you in America. This is the King Alfred Plan. Ha! Brothers and sisters, there is a place for you in America. Places are being prepared and ready night and day, night and day. The white boy's plan is being ready night and day, night and day. Listen close to what rap say about traps like Allenwood, PA. Already legal in D.C. to preventively detain you and me. How long you think it's going to be before even our dreams ain't free? You think I exaggerate? Check out Allenwood, PA, night and day, night and day. The white boy is scheming night and day. The Jews and Hitler come to mind, the thought of slavery far behind, but white paranoia is here to stay. The white boy scheming night and day. What you think about the King Alfred plan? You ain't heard? Where you been, man? If I may paraphrase, the government notice reads, should there at any time become clear present danger initiated by any radical element threatening the operations of the government of the United States of America, members of this radical element shall be transported to detention centers until such time as their threat has been eliminated. Code King Alfred. Bullshit, I bet you say. There ain't no Allenwood, PA, and people ain't waiting night and day, night and day, night and day. There will be, without the Motown sound and Thunderbird wallowing in the echoes of Malcolm's words, there must be black unity. There must be black unity, for in the end, unity will be thrust upon us, and we upon it and each other, locked in cages, pinned, hemmed in, shoulder to shoulder, arms outstretched for just a crust of bread, watermelon mirages, and oasis does not exist, conjured up by the bubbling stench, unwashed bodies and unsanitary quarters, concrete and barbed wire, babies screaming, stumbling around in a mental circle.
In Georgia, voters
to be black. In the end, unity will be thrust upon us, blanketed, stifled, a salty taste in your mouth from blood oozing from cracks in woody heads.
Attention, high school seniors and
Thicker than
college.
syrup, slow down your face. Birds matted by the life force, sprung loose from wells deep by the enforcers of mock justice of the red, white, and blue. In the end, unity will be thrust upon us. Let us unite because of love and not hate. Let us unite on our own and not because of barbed wire death. You dare not ignore the things I say. Whitey's waiting night and day, night and day, night and day, night and day.
What's up, everybody? This is Super Mike 2164. We're gonna go through some little conversation. I was actually woke up a little late, so sorry about that. Apologies. And also, I had to do a little research prior to the show because I want to make sure that we're fair with stuff. We have knowledge of this guy here, Robert Patillo, that we're gonna talk about here. What's up? What's up? What's up, Leroy? I'm about to drop this link real quick. Hold on a second. Okay. Hold on a second. I'm clicking this. The clicking is the keyboard. The keyboard. That's for the records. All right. So in Georgia, what's going on, man? All right. So in Georgia, we have this guy. So there's this big old debacle with Fannie Willis. You know, they like to change our political situations into days of our lives. It's like a soap opera, basically. And Fannie Willis, which is the Georgia DA, she decides that she wants to take Trump or charge Trump with a RICO statute. Same stuff that she's been charging a lot of young black rappers to get herself some notoriety. Just a lot of stuff like that. So what ends up happening here is Trump is rich though, and he's well connected, so he's pushing back. So now he goes into her research. They end up figuring out a way to pull her on the stand, put her under oath. Okay. And this judge that they bring in to judge her case is a guy named Scott McAfee. So he's been a judge for about 6 months before he started that case. And that's what they do. They kind of fast track the white people or people that they like. I was looking at some of his stuff. He was a member of his vice president in high school of a Federalist Society, which is some ultra conservative white people that we do need to know about. And to me, like I said, I get into some of this sometimes because really and truly, when we really understand how this thing is going, Black people, when you really understand, the only reason why this stuff even matters is because we care about it. It's almost like you lost. Let's say you live in an apartment building, and you done went 8 months past your rent, and you ain't have no hope of getting out of this apartment building, but you're still trying to stay in this apartment building. They already, did the proceedings to get you kicked out. You have no hope of saving this building. You don't have no hope of saving this mess. But here you go, still trying to save it. So you wasting money, you getting scammed. Let it go. This is their society. This is their stuff. And so it's going to look weird and crazy. They're going to argue with each other. There's going to be a bunch of, crazy stuff going on and crazy people because their whole system was dysfunctional in the first place. They stole everything they got. So Scott McAfee, and then we have another dude named Robert Patillo, who's he's Black, but he's just confused and, so they running, so what they did is since this judge, I guess Fannie and them and the Democrats decide they're going to push back because they kind of embarrassed Fannie. Well, they let her embarrass herself on stage, on the court. And so there you go. She's up there and we see that that's a big debacle. They've embarrassed her enough. Now they can get her removed from the case against Trump. They can get her removed from the case against Trump. So I guess the Democrats call themselves pushing back there. And they have this guy, Robert Patillo. I guess they're going to run against the judge that, presides over their case. They're going to run against the Scott McAfee. And they pull out of the bucket of despair a radio show host, YouTuber, and I guess an attorney, some kind of attorney, Robert Patillo. So he comes on the radio and stuff. He's always on the radio making weird, just bad faith arguments, all sorts of crazy stuff. So they're going to run him against. This Scott McAfee. And all of this is just coming out. Like I said, we're going to go over some of it, but really and truly, there's a lot of stuff going on. I've been researching basically how this, we need to deal with some of the financial ramifications of what the Houthis are doing down there, over there in the Red Sea. And what Israel's doing to try to blockade and out, because they're taking over all of the ships. It's hurting the Israelis, but they're saying basically it's hurting a lot of countries in that area. But that's what happens when you attack one of their people, the Gaza people, in that blatant genocide crap. So these are some of the issues that we got. And then you have the Ukraine thing. Then do y'all hear the statistic that every 100 days, these people go into $1 trillion of debt? So the debt and the dollar transfer is being corrupted and broken right in front of your face while we worried about Fannie and her mess. So let me show this here. Let me share the screen. Now, I mean, it is important, but we were telling people not to really vote for this woman over because really what needed to happen is the police needed to be prosecuted. You know, their bad behaviors need to be controlled. So you got civil rights attorney, and they call that Robert Patillo. I don't know what civil rights attorney. Who is he fighting for? Who is Patillo fighting for anyway? Civil rights attorney to challenge Scott McAfee, who's a judge in the Fulton Trump case. Okay. Trump Fannie case. So that lets us know AJC politics, Fulton Trump case. Anyway, I guess that's more accurate. But anyway, Fannie Willis, to me, that's her case. She's outshining Trump. So basically, they have civil rights attorney and talk radio host Robert Patillo plans to run against Fulton Superior Court Judge John McAfee, who has been overseeing the high-profile election interference case against former President Donald Trump and others. Patillo plans to qualify as a candidate for the position on Thursday. This was March 6th, so he should be there. According to multiple people with knowledge who declined to speak on the record, which is probably him. He is the former executive director of the Rainbow Push Coalition, the social justice and civil rights group founded by Reverend Jesse Jackson. So Robert let's see. Yeah, Robert is dealing with this Rainbow Push thing.
In Georgia, voters have.
So this is what Robert was doing. He's got Rainbow Push, 13,000 subscribers, but one of their little commercials gets 59 views in 3 years. Hold on 1 second, guys. Yes.
Michael, don't worry about coming right around. I'll put things on paper and I talk to colleague. So, you know, I don't know.
Hold on 1 second. Let me clip this one. Yeah, guys. So, yeah, hold on 1 second here. Let me pull this up. What's going on, Leroy?
What's happening?
Mm-hmm. It's all good. Now, I know you've been on Robert Patillo. I'm on the phone with my grandmother. Hold on a second.
No, go for it.
No, go ahead. Because I know you definitely, what's your experience with Patillo?
He's more blue than he is black.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it appears to be. I mean, he talk a good game, but in the end, he's about Democrats more than he is about black people.
Keep going, Leroy.
Yeah, you know, Fannie, she's the DA here in Fulton County, and she brought a case that, you know, the Democrats put her up to bring against Trump. But, you know, I call her the queen of RICO, because, I mean, my first introduction to her was several years ago when she brought a RICO case against some APS teachers for cheating, you know, changing test scores and grades. But she didn't put.
I don't like that was her that did that, because see, that cheating scandal, that was really, to me, for the conservative. See, this is what I don't understand with these people. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. Like, So on one level, they be kissing the butt of the police, who are the conservatives. The police, basically, the police union is the oppressive arm of what we would call white supremacy mentality or systems or stuff like that. That's what the police are in this society. Not talking about what police generally should be, or sheriffs, or guardians of the law, or whatever. I'm talking about this is what in this system you can only go so far because of the police going to kill you or something, or beat you up. And
Lock you up, you know.
right.
Yeah,
That's what they do. You try to do something right, they come in and mess with your business and write up extra stuff, and if you don't do it, then they'll put you in jail or something like that. So she was helping them, and now she want to be Team Democrat. Now those type of conservative folks are against her now because Paul Howard was going to. Because how you going to
was gonna what?
prosecute? Because when I looked into that the teachers union case, how are you going to prosecute teachers who to teach their children how to, navigate through the test? That's what people do.
Well, Paul Howard was the head DA at the time, and she worked in the DA's office, and this the case he gave her. So, I mean, it's a lot of history there, man. She so it wasn't like she just came out of nowhere and decided to do this. It started with Paul Howard, but go back further, it really starts with the former mayor. He approached the school board and wanted to get some of the funds that they received from uh, property tax to build the belt line. And the superintendent at the time, she wasn't playing ball. She wasn't going to give it up. And so evidently, Kasim Reed, that's the mayor, caught wind of what they were doing, and put out a call to allegedly, this is all alleged. Let's put that in there for the hawks out there. That he put out a call to Paul Howard to have him go after the teachers so he could get access to those funds. And once he did, he was able to build the beltline.
What Patillo said on this. Let me see if I can pull up something he was talking about, because we're gonna play some of his recording.
Yeah,
why you called in on this? He was talking about at this time. This is the time he was talking about, LGBT stuff, black folks, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And this is what the people want to deal with in the fall of America. This is what they want to deal with, because the thing is, one of the things is I noticed this here. People who understand spiritual and God and right and wrong, the one mistake a lot of us make, the reason why most of the argument is we actually think, we arrogate to ourselves like we know how it's gonna go. You don't know exactly the political dynamics behind, like if God said, like, look, this is the end times for this society. This is, this kind of situation is going to happen. It's going to collapse. It's going to fall. Right.
Okay.
When you're in it, you're in that system. The people, it's going to collapse, but you be thinking like, oh, I know I'll be able to recognize, I'll be able to recognize it. No.
Well, not every time, right?
Huh?
I said not every time.
Well, you're going to be able to recognize some stuff, but what's the same thing with, if you look at the history with like Noah, Rome, all that, Greece, even, every society, the people didn't really see it. Some people seen it, few. And then they got with the man of God, and they got saved and stuff. But a lot of them folks did not. They didn't understand. They was thinking like, "Oh, this dude crazy. This is what's going on. All these little political dynamics of the day." You know what I mean? You're thinking like, "Oh, the stuff that I'm dealing with in my lifetime." You think the history of what you're dealing with. All this stuff that's going on. Stuff about everything because you're living in that period of time. So you're thinking, "Oh, that's gonna happen one day."
Not thinking
One
today
day.
is the day.
And then sometimes people think, "Oh, this is the days of God," or the last day. You think it's gonna happen in one day, like you thinking, but the last days, that could be a good 100 years.
Could be.
Well, how long was
No,
Noah? How long was Noah teaching?
I think it took them 100 years to build the ark. But let me close up what I started right quick.
Oh yeah,
She
go ahead.
so when it came to those teachers, he took that money and built the belt line, and they were put on trial, including the superintendent Beverly Hall for cheating. Now they got and the judge that read it, I think it's either Baxter or Barney. I think it's Baxter. The judge isn't your attorney, right, in court, but he's in there, near the end of, closing and throughout the proceedings, acting a real, for lack of a better term, a real ass while he was on the stand. I mean, yelling, telling the teachers, "You better take the deal." I mean, dude, you supposed to be impartial and look at the evidence and make a decision, not, be a advocate for the district attorney and try and wrangle the teachers into taking the deal they don't want to take. Now, if you didn't find them guilty and to put RICO on them and say there's an organization, RICO was created to go after gangsters,
I'm talking about
organized crime.
This is an organized crime. That's the dang on. That's for going after, like you said, the mob and
Yeah,
stuff.
killers, people. Yeah, people who out here robbing and killing and doing all this kind of stuff.
And they know these women didn't go to no college to be teachers, to be
It-
in jail, organized
yeah,
crime.
look, it was some black men and women that were these teachers that they went after. And she was a real bulldog trying to get them convicted. And she did. And
They get convicted.
if you wanna take their license, put them on probation,
My thing
I
is,
don't agree with that.
look, first off is this. First off, this is one thing I don't. Okay, even with that cheating thing, I try to see what was the cheating. What did they do to cheat? Because guess what they found out. So how do they know the teachers were so-called cheating? What do they call cheating? Go ahead.
What they called cheating was them changing grades, having what they call, if I remember correctly, pizza parties, and then they would be changing grades and changing test scores and changing answers to tests. But all this, check out where all this really started. It started in D.C. with the Department of Education, and at that time, when George Bush was in office, I'm talking about the son, the idiot. His Department of Education tied teacher pay to student success. So no longer was it on the teacher to, go back to school and advance their degrees and, get a master's and get a doctorate and then come back to the school system and say, "Hey, you got to up my pay now." No, not that. We want to know how the students doing. That's going to determine whether or not, you get paid more, which, yeah, you want to have a good hold on, students actually getting the data and performing well. I understand that, but to tie teacher pay to student success. See, when you and I were growing up, and since I went to APS, I know this personally. teachers, if they wanted to make more money during the summer, I would see them at the mall working at Riches. You know, but some teachers did go back to school, and they would come back to school, you know, with doctorates. You know, now they're a doctor. You still might call them Mr. or Mrs., but I'm sure their pay changed. So she didn't put Paul Howard in, you know, how they going after Trump. And it's not defending him. It's just say be equal. If you're gonna go after him for whatever you done came up with, which they absolutely came up with something, because these aren't laws on the books. Why didn't y'all go after George Bush? Because that's where it started. But that wasn't the climate at the time. You didn't just go after politicians the way they go now. And they only doing that because they want Biden to win and remain in there, and Democrats in control, which they turn the country into shit.
Because that's the politics of it, but that's what I was talking about. I'm saying, like, when you really understand, you stay on the side of this whole system. This is a system collapsing. And the only people who are going to get wrapped up all into it is the one who worried about saving this mess. This is a big old mess. You ain't going to fix it.
It is.
You're not going to fix it.
But what she's doing is what she did with the teachers. That was never about fixing anything. That was about taking money from the school system to build the Beltline. The Beltline is an inner circle around the state of Atlanta.
Also, that's what I was going to ask before when I was asking you. From what I was studying about that scandal, I was like, okay, well, how did they know these teachers were so-called cheating? And they got 35 teachers out of entire Atlanta school system. Now, first of all, they says, oh, well, too many of them passed. Too many students.
They were too smart. I've heard that before when I was on jury duty.
Because they were saying, oh, too many black people passed.
And check it out though, Mike. At that same time, I think it was in either Gwinnett County, which is here, and another place in America where there were some white teachers that were accused of doing the same thing. They didn't go after them with RICO.
Down in Pleasanton, you didn't hear nothing about that mess. See, the thing is, okay, so the thing is, they done killed this woman, Gloria Hall.
Beverly
Hall.
Yeah, she already had cancer. The last thing you need when you got cancer is more stress. Go ahead, say it again.
What is she worried about extra money for? She got cancer.
And she the superintendent.
She wasn't worried about that. The thing is, see, this is what I don't like. They changed the intention of our people and make us think that these were some low down folks. This is what I don't like. I didn't like this about this little thing. They try to make it seem like these black people were just conspiring. Oh yeah, this is what we gonna do. You know what I'm saying? We gonna, mess them up, mess it. When these black folks know they have experienced racism in the state, they know that the black kids have been our programs and stuff like that have been defunded, the education, and so
not fully funded.
Properly. That's my point. That's defunded. That's basically where the money that's supposed to go to you and your people to buy your books and get your special programs and to uplift your. You got gifted folks. You want to have them in here and there. Oh, no, we don't have time for that. Oh, stop gym. Oh, they can't go nowhere. Oh, after school program. Send them straight home. And okay, so now they broke. The parents working. Yeah, we should be able to arrest them now because they're going to get in trouble. Put some more police in the area. Come on, man. See, this is what I don't like. We sit up here because we pretend like everything is separate. And we pretend like nobody's planning stuff. So when they was looking like, damn, we're not arresting enough of them. Crime is going down with it. Oh, that scores. Wait a minute. Too many passed them. Investigate that. No, something wrong. Because we done set up stuff so bad. We know they're supposed to be here, but they're not here. Who's stopping it? Oh, Beverly Hall and her little teachers. They see something.
Yeah, but it was all a scheme. It was all a scheme to enrich and build the belt line and
No, but
the
see,
areas around the
what
belt
you're
line.
missing there is look. I know that's part of it. It ain't just that though. That might be it.
It's not.
See,
It's not.
everybody has a different agenda. Now you're right, so I ain't saying that you're not right. So, but hear me out. I know what you're saying, and that's true because they need those funds. See, that's just how they did the crack thing. They was like, "Oh, Reagan needed some money for his money."
Iran Contra scandal and all that.
He didn't want to get it from Congress, so that was all. No, it's that true. It is the money. But it's also, and we can get rid of this group of folks. And we can get these people in jail, which will help our prison little investment.
Prison school to prison pipeline.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I know that's true, what you're saying with the Beltline. That was probably what the little black politicians, they probably were like, the little sellouts. They're like, we're gonna get money.
Which would be Kasim Reed.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's all they was thinking about.
Okay, but check it.
Martin and Patillo and stuff. That's all. You got to get them crumbs. But what I'm saying is, who even came up with like we got to investigate these teachers? You got to think about that. Like they're like too many black kids are passing.
Well, I mean,
think about that.
That may have made them look at it, but
no, that's what I read that. They saying they looked at statistically. This is what
said that they too smart. But check it out, Mike. This is the same school system, the high school I went to, B.E. Mays. When I was coming through that, man, it was the best high school in the nation. It was the National School of Excellence. We had students that were scoring exceptionally high on the SAT. I wasn't one of them, but we had some students in there who were scoring 1,500 on the SAT.
Right.
And
that's how I know that they were targeting that. See, this is, let me tell you, just from what you just said, it lines up with what I'm going to say because this is my experience too. First of all, during that time, I was apprentice inside of the electrical program. You got to take a test to get to the electrical program, and you got to pass at least by 75. So you know the black people just passing. This ain't cheating scandal. Black folks come in there, we take the test, we pass it. Okay, we get in. And so some of the union folks was like, damn, but the white folks, they was going, and so the union guys, they was going out to Cobb County, they was going out to Floyd County, they was going out there to these white areas, Henry County, and some of the spots, and Pleasanton, and all these different little spots, trying to get the white people to right out of high school to come join the electrical program. So some of them that would get it, a lot of them didn't want to do it. But some of them that did come in, they couldn't pass the test. They noticed that. And I found that out. They could not pass the same test that the black people from Atlanta could pass. Okay. So I know that just that right there, that one example, that this is something that I personally know about. And I'm working with these people, and I know they're like, shit, I got 50%. He telling me what he got. So I know they couldn't pass it. So the thing is, these are the same pool of people that this cheating scandal is going after. So I know the black kids in Atlanta was passing the dang on test more than these folks was, but they felt like that was a threat. That was a threat.
Yeah, look, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not discounting that. My own experience with the SAT, I took it twice. I got the same exact score, 840. what are the chances of you getting the same exact score twice?
Hey man,
I mean,
it's probably a good chance. I don't, because you probably just got all
the same score.
Because you knew all the same stuff.
I'm saying the 840 out of 1600 is, halfway there, more or less. But to me, look, I don't believe in coincidences, bro, and that's a serious coincidence. That nothing happens by chance. I don't know if it was manipulated or what, by who or what, but it just seemed very odd to me at the time that I got the same exact score. Now, I wasn't a straight A student or nothing like that, but it just seemed odd. But I think it's important for people to know that, when it came to that cheating scandal, if they wanted to take their license or put them on probation for what they found them guilty of, okay. But
and then look
put
at
them
this
in
here.
prison
Look at her
under a RICO charge.
Look at that. Racketeering charges. That's her thing. Racketeering charges. That's the only way they could get them. Some made
Breaking
up.
up. Say it again.
Yeah. No, I said racketeering
For teachers.
Yeah, this is the only.
I mean,
way you know
look,
why?
they acting like that. Look, they probably I would have to say that not only to build the Beltline, but to also cripple APS, because the school I just told you about that I went to, it will never be the school of excellence anymore. That's over with.
Right.
They've combined schools.
Hey, you there? Oh, you can't cut off. He done cut off. But if we notice, guys, many reached plea agreements. Fannie charged these people with racketeering. That's RICO. Okay, so the thing is this. These type of incidents, it come back on you. These teachers were just regular people. They didn't have the money to defend themselves from this mess. So that's where you get the plea pressure. There's many people that have done the research to show that people just, take a plea because they don't have the money to defend themselves against the awesome might and the resources of the state. So that's what Fannie Willis was doing. This is what this woman was doing. And now they want to defend her, and they're going to attack the teachers. I remember on this page here. So during that time, let's see. Let me see what Patillo was talking about. I want to see if he was even. Let me see. Let's see if he got something to say. I'm sure he does. And look at the mess that they put these teachers through. These are regular people, good people. They're not criminals.
Good evening. There's no harder lesson than the one taught today to 8 Atlanta educators by an angry judge after they were convicted on charges typically reserved for mobsters. He threw the book at them, teachers, principals among them, handing down lengthy prison sentences for their roles in a massive cheating scandal in which standardized test scores at underperforming schools were inflated. The judge told them the conspiracy harmed thousands of children. Our chief education correspondent, Rahema Ellis, shows us how it all played out.
This thing was pervasive. It's like the sickest thing that's ever happened to this town.
In a tense courtroom, Judge Jerry Baxter
Now that's a damn lie.
Yeah, look. If they so concerned about what he just said, then why are schools doing worse now?
First off, he said it's the sickest thing that has happened to this town.
Hello?
Who is that? Is that yours?
Shouldn't be.
Oh,
I just
shit.
closed some other windows. But that's the sickest thing, not the missing and murdered children in Atlanta. That's not the sickest thing. He talking about teachers changing scores. When the I don't think they want this conversation happening, Mike.
Yeah, go
Hello.
ahead. What the hell? I'm trying to find out what was that.
I don't know, bro. I just was cut out from out of nowhere. I closed some windows.
On this computer, that's what it is.
No, but they so he's saying that's the sickest thing, not the missing and murder.
Was though, but listen, you could tell that's fake.
Oh yeah. And look, the missing and murdered children here in Atlanta it was more of an issue than this.
Dude,
That's why I said if you want to take their license, if you want to put them on probation for what they did, go for it. But to tell them you going to prison,
look, let's do this again. I want to go through this little section, and we're gonna get to Patillo. Best believe this. We're gonna get to him. But I'm just trying to see. These are so this is who the Patillo is defending. He is running against this judge who is on this girl's side too, probably at this point in time. I bet you McAfee was cool with
McAfee.
McAfee or whatever you want to call
him.
Yeah,
McAfee.
Calling himself he was good with the school prosecution at the same time.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he did work for Fannie at one time. I think he was in the DA's office. He's been a federal prosecutor.
I'm trying to tell you. We can see already she was supported by the police union.
Yes. And look, now that you brought that up, she also recused herself before she got the job from prosecuting the cop that killed Rayshard Brooks.
Exactly.
She hadn't even
that was the key linchpin in why that black folks should not have supported this woman. That right
and
there
still
alone,
shouldn't.
That alone should have let us know that this woman, now Paul Howard at that time, regardless of what this is what I'm saying. And that's what the lead attorney said at the time. And this is how it is in all of these different towns. You know, your professional class, they all went to school. They all had these connections. They're working with each other. They hate each other. They're with each other, messing with each other. And so
sleeping with each other.
At periods of time, they're on the same side, and then now they're enemies. Okay. So at that time, Paul Howard was, for some reason he said, you know what? No, we're going to prosecute this cop.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me cut you off, Mike. The only reason he did that is because he wanted to win. Because a young black man named Corey was killed in Buckhead several years before that by a cop. He was shot in the head, and they said, well, he was in a stolen truck. No, it turned out that was his mama's truck.
Okay.
Paul Howard did nothing. Paul Howard did absolutely nothing to that cop. And we talking about in the late 90s when that happened.
Okay.
I think it was like 97, 98.
And that's all he did. And so that's exactly the same. We're dealing with the same dynamic here. This is their system. Yes. At this point in time, this person is doing something, and at that point in time, they're with this person. They're on this side now. That's all I'm saying. So, but at this point in time, Paul Howard, because of 2020 uprisings and all this stuff, like you said, he wanted to win.
Yeah,
he lost.
That's the only reason. Yes.
But look, this is what I'm trying to get you to see. Just check this out. At that moment, Paul Howard made the calculation not to be on the side of the police. Okay.
Yeah. How that where you hear DA going against his own police?
Hold on one second. Hold on one second. See, this is what I mean by us being fair. Because even though we don't personally like somebody, I think it's very important if you're going to be judging situations, especially incestuous situations like the justice system, meaning that today this person could be evil and must be, destroyed. And then the next day, they decide to do something halfway decent. Okay. You can't pretend like what I'm saying is at that moment in time, which is the 2020 elections. They had the riot, even in Atlanta. You know, I posted a picture of a girl getting shot in the face with a rubber bullet. The police was. So Paul Howard, at that moment in time, we're not talking about the other moments in which they do have bearing as far as our total judgment on somebody. But I'm saying in this particular moment, he had made the calculation. I'm going to stand with the side of Rashard Brooks because I don't want our city
to lose.
Well, you can
Bro,
say
he
that.
don't care about the city.
But see,
That was
Leroy,
about the election.
Leroy,
Leroy,
if you go with that, and you can go with that because that's what you feel. But if you
that ain't what I feel. His actions show it. He was the DA who assigned a case to Fannie Willis to prosecute the teachers.
If you keep cutting me off, it's your feelings because you don't want to hear another perspective. I'm saying.
Oh no. Go ahead. No, it ain't that.
Listen what I'm saying here. If we go with that, it's just because he wanted to win. He didn't win. Do you see what I'm saying? So that really don't work like that because the police union always have more money. And the people who support, and he knows he's an experienced politician. The folks who have the money, a lot of times they're going to overrule what the people end up wanting. And he knows that. Most of these Kamala Harris knew that. They always stand with the police union.
And that's what I was saying earlier. What DA, sitting DA, especially goes against his own police? They work together.
Okay, so that's all I'm trying to tell you. So that's what I'm saying. In that moment, you can't really. I'm saying that particular. We can believe that, but if you look at what experienced politicians will do in that moment, you can't say that he only did that just because he wanted to win. Only.
Oh, that's why I gave you the backstory of what happened before we even get to the cheating scandal. Okay. What happened to the young man named Corey in Buckhead? He didn't do anything to that cop.
That was 20 years prior.
No, it wasn't 20 years. It might have been
the 90s, right?
Yeah, the late 90s.
Okay,
like
so
97, 98. So maybe 10 years before.
But this was 2020, right? When they was running.
The cheating scandal?
No,
yeah, it was 20. Yeah, it was 2020 when they was running. Yeah,
I'm talking about 2020 when Paul Howard and Fannie Willis was running against each other.
So let me ask you a question, Mike. So you really believe that Paul Howard was standing against the police because now he cared? Because I'm saying now. So because now he stands with the people when he didn't.
What I'm trying to tell you. Listen, you see, that's what I'm saying. We're looking at what actually we can see. And as far as going into what he believes in his whole, I'm not going to make those jumps because that's when I'm in the danger zone. Okay. I'm not going to make those jumps as far as his belief systems, his calculation, and his change of heart, his heart. No, I'm not making those calculations because I don't know that. And if I make those calculations, I know I'm going to run into danger zone because I don't know. Okay, but I do know that it is probably some nefarious reason based on his total history. But what I'm saying is the public messaging, what he actually did versus what she did in that moment. And the political climate at that very moment, we would the interest of the people and the imagery, it would have been better for Paul Howard to win because that would have been at that moment of time. I'm not talking about all this other stuff. We're talking about just a moment of time because this was a national thing at that time where Rashard Brooks was sleeping at the Wendy's and then the police came up there. He fought and and they killed him because he was sleeping in his car because he didn't want to drive drunk.
No, but okay. So hold on, Mike.
No, you got to hear this out because just chill out for a second, just right quick. No, seriously. I'm trying to walk.
I'm here. I'm here.
When we judging politicians, I'm talking about. I don't trust none of them. But what they do is what I'm looking at. So I'm not calculating on Paul Howard's heart. I don't care. That's not what I care about. I'm calculating on what effect that would have had on the messaging to the people. In that moment, Paul Howard was going to prosecute that cop. The black people wanted that cop prosecuted. Okay, so Paul Howard was going to do that. In that moment, Fannie Willis said, even before she was running, she stands with the police union. She would not, and basically messaging, she will not prosecute this cop. So I'm saying to you that in that moment of time, the people would have been better letting Paul Howard win. And the people wanted that. Now, all the other stuff about him, all his heart and how bad I already know. He's a damn politician, man. This is what I'm saying. If I don't get into that, I know all of it. You cannot be an American politician on that kind of level and not be a slimy. You can't do it. So politician is synonymous with liar. So that's what I'm saying. Like
Correct.
I don't get confused by that stuff. I don't get confused by that stuff.
Okay. So his track record clearly demonstrates that the only reason that he decided to say, and I emphasize say, that he was going to prosecute that cop is because he wanted to win, because he had no appetite to do the same thing when confronted with the same circumstances. And yes, it was 20 plus years between when he ran up against his former assistant DA, Fannie, and when Corey was killed in Buckhead. Had no.
Oh, you cutting in and out and stuff. Patillo's messing with the mic. Damn. Leroy be going out and in. We're gonna play some more. We're gonna play some of this Patillo stuff, but let me play this cheating scandal thing again. Shout out everybody. Make sure y'all share the message and make sure you press the thumbs up, press the like button, press the share button. Thank you to people who are subscribing to the channel, to the YouTube channel, and coming into the Facebook group. And I'm not no media mogul, so I'm not trying to do the media mogul. And guys, y'all can come in on this conversation too. What's up, guys? Yeah, Queen of Rico. Let me drop the link again. Y'all can come in on the conversation. I'll drop the link over there on Facebook too. Leroy, I don't know if you're driving or something. You be going in and out. Hold on a second. Yeah, click the link again. Let me go back over here. Hold on a second, guys. No, but see, this political stuff, I mean, when it all boils down to it, let me tell y'all, we got to insulate ourselves, get some gold, get some silver, make sure you secure your family, your land rights, and try to work with people who you know that you can work with. Just try to work with them. I mean, you're not going to agree on everything, guys, but if we could try, I think we can do a little bit better. I was actually talking to my grandmother, so I'm going to have to go see my grandmother. She's getting up there. So we got to go try to step our game up, level ourselves up. So hopefully Leroy pops back in. But I want to play this cheating scandal because, like I said, this is who Patillo is defending. This is the Democrats. But see, they're all incestuous. This is politicians. That's why if you get confused with these are not regular people. These are not regular people that you would normally deal with as a human being. Oh, I'll work with him, and they're this way. They change. They flip flop like crazy. So you're dealing with a politician. You can't judge them the same way. So let's look at this here. How are you going to prosecute these teachers like this? Let's look at this.
There's no harder lesson than the one taught today to aid it.
They got these teachers looking like they are straight up criminals.
Atlanta educators by an angry judge after they were convicted on charges typically reserved for mobsters. He threw the book at them, teachers, principals among them, handing down lengthy prison sentences for their roles in a massive cheating scandal in which standardized test scores at underperforming schools were inflated. The judge told them to...
I mean, they keep running these same things over and over again. There you go. Your phone went out?
Nah, that was the tablet. I'm on the phone now. I was
cooking. Finish your point.
Off, but go ahead, run the video.
No, finish your point. Because you was talking about how, like the Paul Howard showing how previously, due to the fact that he had Corey, it was the same scenario. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when he faced with the same scenario 20 plus years prior, had no appetite to go after a cop that shot Corey in the head, and he's in his mother's truck that the cop said, well, he was in the stolen truck. No, that was his mama's truck. That was his mama's truck. Brent, what, it was too new for you? It didn't have rims on it, wasn't dressed up, none of that. But you put a bullet in his head, and Paul Howard did absolutely zero. And granted, and he's the sitting DA at the time who assigned the cheating scandal case to Fannie Willis, and she went in there and tore those teachers a new one. Tore those teachers, tried to put them in prison for cheating. Like I said earlier, if you want to take their license, if you want to, put them on probation of some sort, okay. You want to make them pay restitution, all right. But we talking about some non-violent offenses.
What's that? What's the name of that? Corey? What?
I don't, bro. I don't even remember his last name. Just put young man killed in Buckhead in the late 90s by APD, Atlanta Police Department. It should pop up, but the way they work the internet these days, in some cases, unless you put it exactly how it's said, you'll never find it.
Right.
And I give you an example of that involves Kasim Reed. There was a helicopter crash here, a police helicopter crash here. And I had been following it closely. I get home from work one day and my wife tell me, well, they came out with their decision and they put it on Channel 2. So I'm putting in keywords trying to find the story. It wasn't until my wife told me the exact wording of the title of the article that it all of a sudden appeared on Channel 2 local news. Why are you making it so hard to find if there's nothing here? I mean, if it's all legit. That helicopter fell, and it was because they weren't spending money on that particular finance. You know what I'm saying? In order to make sure that the helicopter worked perfectly. They had an older gentleman, older cop, and more or less rookie. He might have been 3-4 years into the thing, and the other guy was like 19. And they said, well, they hit a telephone line. Really? They said they had hit a telephone line because they was out searching for some children. Really? A missing child. Really? Yeah. But it's our community should have never supported Paul Howard or Fannie Willis because they're the same. They're the exact same.
Leroy,
the talk.
Right there, that's where I'm saying you're messing up right there.
By not supporting either one of them?
That's right. You know why?
His track.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I say what I say.
Go for it.
Okay. If that was the case, our people, when integration happened, would have just said no. we would separate. We would separate. Okay. Now, the thing is, the fact that we did integration, this means that you're going to support somebody in the system that is designed against you. Okay. And so anybody in that system is your enemy. See, this is what we ain't getting. And now even black folks that get up in that system, you thinking one thing, but in order to survive in that system, that you quickly realize you must lie. You must cheat. You must throw people under the bus, your people. You cannot bring resources into your people, Cynthia McKinney. No, we're not allowing that. You got to go. See, this is what we're not getting it. That's why I like to play one thing that said black folks still ain't getting it. This thing is not set up for us. We would have to set up our own thing.
And that's why we should have separated.
That's what I'm saying. We're still not getting it. So that message has to go into the mind of the people. You're like, that's the reason why, like, really and truly, when you see all the dysfunction that comes out of this system year after year, decade after decade, it's not something even worth us worried about too much. Like, I'm not even worried about these people. I expect it, because once you start realizing, like, no, just like lead attorney. I don't know if you remember one thing he says. You're thinking that you're going to be an attorney and how it's going to be all glue and, awesome. But when you get up in that system, the stress, all of the different, those types of stresses, it starts warping the moral foundation of the person. Daily after daily, you're under this stress, and then you see this person get away with that, and you keep losing because you're trying to do it the right way. And you're like, man, let me do a little something. See? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, we're in, it's like, how can I blame you for eating, shit if somebody dropped you in a sewer? Damn, something got in your mouth, bro. You ate it. Oh, did somebody put a gun to your head? Dude, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. You could try to stay as clean as possible, but all this is situational ethics. There is no moral. The whole thing is set up evil. Even white folks know this. They know it. They don't trust their own thing. You know what I'm saying?
Which is why I said our community should have not supported either one of them.
Well, and I can agree with you, but I'm saying, like, if it's not. I'll say it like this: the message, you basically, because the first thing they go say, okay, so as soon as you say that, right, you know how they do. What's your plan? What's your plan? What's your plan?
You must be a Republican. All this other.
What's your plan? Because you said no, Democrats. No.
Choose the third guy, even though he sat in the same DA's office, but he definitely didn't lead the prosecution of the teachers. So
man, you can look at his stuff, you find something too.
I'm sure you will. But at least he didn't lead the prosecution of the teachers. He wasn't in position to not seek justice for what happened to Corey and Buckhead. So that's why I said, give a third guy a chance. He was black too, but don't choose these two clowns.
Man, that thing is not gonna work. I'm just saying.
Let me ask you a question, Mike.
Yeah.
Do you really earnestly believe that Paul Howard made that decision to try and prosecute the cop that killed Rayshard Brooks was based on him trying to do right by the community and not a political calculation? Do you earnestly believe that?
First off, that doesn't exclude each other. political calculation and doing it right. Number one, I'm just putting it in perspective.
Okay.
So when you ask that kind of question, it's like an either or, but it's really not it's not an either or thing, because I could say both. I could say both, because you can say,
you can.
listen, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You ask the question in a way, it's a way where I'm like, I can literally say both and be strong on both sides, because political calculation and standing with the people don't exclude each other. So now, if you're saying that
he didn't win, did he?
Say it again.
He didn't win.
Exactly. That's my point to you,
Okay.
though. So wait a minute. Okay, go ahead.
If it's a political calculation for him to win, that's why he chose not to prosecute the cop that killed Rayshard Brooks. Where was your gumption 20-some years before when the same thing happened? And let me back up. When I was cooking, I wanted to make it clear that Rayshard Brooks wasn't just sleeping. He was drunk off his ass. And he had passed out in the drive-through. And when the cops showed up, at first they told him to pull into a parking space, and it got worse from there. And it ended in him beating them up, running away with their taser, aiming it in the air while his back is to them, and they shot him in the back twice. They got his car, they got his license. He had just got out of prison because of the COVID pandemic crap, where they decided to release people from prison prior to their release date for whatever reason they decided to, probably to make situations worse out here in the community for those who didn't want to come back and try and live a somewhat normal life. And I'm not condoning what the cops did at all, because it should have been handled totally different. I mean, everything was cool when they told him to pull into the parking space.
Wasn't he asleep there? Because I don't remember them chasing him.
Oh no, they no, instead of one of them tried to get chased, but when he turned, he didn't turn.
Hold on, man. Hold on a second.
Yeah, they don't. Hello?
Hold on, let me see what I can do with this. I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna cut on mute just for a second. Hold on.
All right.
I'm gonna go to Leroy on the line from Atlanta. Leroy, how are you doing?
What's going on, Patillo?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah, man, it's interesting that you want answers from Republicans on, why they won't do this or won't do that, when last time I checked, Biden was a Democrat. And
Biden's not launching this war against the gay community.
And the Senate is controlled by Democrats, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the point is that Biden and the Democrats aren't trying to ban books, claiming that they're somehow trying to indoctrinate kids. They're not doing like Glenn Youngkin is doing and changing school curriculums because they're claiming that it's going to groom children into homosexuality. They're not running around the country trying to ban drag shows because they say that they're trying to sexualize kids. None of those things are happening. So the reason this is an issue is because Republicans have made this an issue. It is their new obsession, and they're able to trick their MAGA base around it. Now, do you think that will be an effective political strategy for them?
Okay, so Democrats aren't going around trying to ban this stuff because they're too busy promoting it. That's why they aren't banning it. I really find it hard to believe that you don't grasp the concept, and maybe because you aren't a parent, right? You don't have children, right?
Nope.
Yeah. So as a person who doesn't have children, it's real interesting that you don't have a problem with this being placed in schools. I mean, it's not just there are places in the world, Robert, where there aren't conservatives or liberals, but they know what a man is, they know what a woman is, and they know what happens when those two come together. And it's the responsibility of parents to train their child up in the way that they should go.
Hey, Leroy.
Yeah,
What's
Austin,
up?
I'll hop in there.
I was just at the schools. This thing you're talking about, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, and that's what the point that
that didn't happen to you.
Where exactly?
No. Hold on,
Leroy.
Robert.
Where is this happening at?
No, hold on, Robert. You said it didn't happen to me. It didn't happen to anybody.
I said, yeah. You can speak for you. I didn't say it's happening everywhere, but it is happening.
All right, you think it's happening where? Where are these kids that are not gay that are being turned gay because of school? Where?
Oh, like Robert said, he said it's a choice, right? You can't choose who you like or who you love. Yet when the Pulse Club in Orlando was shot up and many of them were killed, there were some gay people that were in that club who turned their life around and are straight now.
So you think those people that were gay that night that decided that they didn't want to have gay sex and be technically gay anymore, you think they no longer are gay? They're not just suppressing the urge from a traumatic event. They just
That's
all of a sudden
your assumption that they're suppressing the urge.
No, hold on. Wait, Leroy. Hold on. So you're saying that people who were nearly murdered for being openly gay are no longer openly gay because they don't want to get murdered, and you think that's proof?
No.
Anyway, that's Patillo.
Oh, you should let it play to the end.
Because a lot. I got a whole bunch. Yeah, I would let it play some more, but this is Patillo.
And that's what you get with a person who is completely blue.
Well, I'm telling you, that's these people. They are. Remember, Patillo. He even said he will talk Republican talking points sometimes. Remember?
Oh yeah, you said I can argue.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
He's a committee.
This is the type of person that will get into that situation. No matter who you put in if you Leroy, with your beliefs and ideas and strong mental fortitude, if I just dropped you in one of those positions, they're going to make you do what they want you to do, or they're going to force you out, or they're going to figure out a way to put you in jail.
Well, that's what they have to do. They're going to have to force me out.
And that's my point. Do you understand that? The people will not be able to support you.
Not going to let anybody like me in, and once you feel that I'm going to stand on my convictions, then they're going to do exactly what you said, because that's what happened to the kid.
Exactly. So my point to you is this. You cannot support anybody in there. That's a waste of good human capital.
That is why I do not vote.
Okay. So my point is, that's what I'm saying to people. Don't even worry about, you're going to see dysfunction. It is a function of the really more of the system. It is in the people, but it's in the system. And it's the way that these people are made to navigate through a disgusting, decrepit, devilish system. That's really what we're looking at. And it's going to continue to degenerate. It's going to have all sorts of stuff. So, I mean, we can talk about it and stuff, but I'm saying, like, we shouldn't really be getting into this like that. What else you going to see? What else were you supposed to see from him?
Look at what his producer said, Austin. I just left the schools. I didn't see any of that. Well, maybe he's not familiar with the information.
That was a lie.
Oh yeah, look, man,
that was a lie. He just saying that to argue.
Man, there was a young lady up in, since he said Youngkin, the governor of Virginia, there's a young lady in Loudoun County in Virginia that was raped by a transgender student by a male.
Hold on. Let me show you something. And let's go show people this here. This just happened. And it's not about, let me just show it first, and then we will comment. Hold on a second.
And we'll opine.
Hold on a second. Look at this.
A guy when we was young into having sex. Girl, I told you not to. Don't say that, girl. Bitch, we been open. Then you want to be messy about LA? So we did.
Tell it.
No, and I'm not proud of it, but I'm older now. But we was at a club. Long story making short, after the club, we brought the guys over to our house or whatever. And
This was in DC, not Atlanta.
yeah, but this was in DC.
Okay.
So we was really drunk. The guys was really like drunk, and all I heard was, but it was from what Shay was doing in her room. But our rooms was like literally this close to each other, like literally you could walk out or whatever. So, but the lights was off too in her room. So I'm like, Shay, what are you doing? She was like, I don't know. So I was like, well, he's with me. So I'm like, do he know? She was like, no. I was like, how you do it? How you do it? How you do it? Because the guy I was with was so fine, I really wanted it. So she was like, just, pull your drawers down, just let your ass be out, and then hold his hands back or whatever, and then just stick it in. So I tried it and it actually worked. So the whole time he was like, this some good pussy, this some good pussy. So next thing you know, I said, okay, we finished. Long time making sure I text him like, oh, I'm pregnant. Because he nutted at me or whatever. We did have unprotected. I'm clean or whatever, but it was the first time we was drunk or whatever. So he texted me the next morning. It was like, hey, did we use a condom or whatever? He's playing clueless. I was like, no. He was like, what if you get pregnant? I was like, we'll know in like 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, I texted him. I was like, yo, I'm pregnant. And he was like, I can't afford no baby. I'm in college right now, blah, blah, blah. How much money do you need? So I was like, $350. I don't know shit about abortion. So I was like, give me $350. I go get an abortion. He said $350. I blocked him. Period. That was it.
Okay. So do you realize that they just got this is
not gay anymore?
Yes,
that's exactly what I'm saying. That is 100.
So he's talking about trans people. They specialize in getting what they want. Those two people were men. I mean, they're so modern technology. These people, I mean, there is no way you could just look at them off the head. I mean, I don't know how their body look and everything, but I'm just saying, just from the face and their mannerisms, you wouldn't know. Because, back in the day, you could see, something wrong with him. Something wrong with that girl. Something wrong there. But, it's twins, and you're thinking like, dang,
It's very ironic that they believe that a person can go against the norm and change and be gay, but they can't change away from that. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
What happened at the Pulse Club? It didn't convince everyone in that club to walk away from that lifestyle, but it did convince some of them. But they refused to accept that. They refused to accept. I mean, you heard what Austin said. He said that so they aren't technically gay anymore. I mean, what does that even mean?
But
that's why you the black. If a black person and a white person have a child, is the child kind of black? No, the child is black because you certainly would never be white, right?
Right. Yeah, but the thing is, I'll say it like this. These people are lying, okay? Their arguments are lies. They lie so much, they actually trick themselves. Because they got to, you remember, when you lie, you got to keep up with your lie. You got to remember what lie you told. You remember what position you held. Oh, did I hold that publicly? Okay, well, here you said, that's why you can always go back in time and see where they said something different. You can see where they behave different and record them and show them, hey, you said this on this time. This is that type of people. This is that type of person. They don't speak from what they truly believe, like a normal human being would. They speak from a position of, well, what can it get me? That's what it takes. That's the type of person it takes to survive in these type of political environments. So that's why I'm saying, like, what else you gonna? There is nothing I expect from these people except dysfunction, because they can't help it. They think they slick. That's why I don't trust nothing they say. I I don't even get into what they say. Hold on a second. Oh, you charged.
On devices.
Okay. Can you hear me? On the other one? Can you do on the other device? I don't hear you on the other device.
Come up yet? It's processing.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh no, they're hating. Let's see. Let me see.
Say something.
No, it's not. I'm using the Bluetooth and
yeah, the other device ain't working. Yeah,
okay.
but my thing is this. Yeah, I mean, I don't like when I deal with any of this stuff, Mark or whatever. I'm talking to Democrat Party. I'm listening for okay, what do they want you to say right now? Because that's all we're hearing. We don't hear this person's real, true convictions. We hear what does the Democrat want us to talk about today. He's a bot. These are bots. What do you call them? Russian bots. They are Democrat bots. They will not say what's true. They will say what their group wants them to say. The Democrats want them to say. And that's it. So like when you're trying to catch them in lies, they don't care about them lies. Like you catch them in a lie all the time. They don't care. They're laughing.
Patillo is running.
They don't care.
Because he evidently he doesn't care. Because I mean, they're already putting out, regardless of the conversation you just played with him and I, they're already bringing out stuff that he said in the past.
I could bring out some more stuff. I mean, it's easy, but the thing is also though, what I didn't want to do because I have convictions and principles. Okay, it's not just about bragging on because we know about Patillo, but I want to know about this other dude because I'm not because see this is what I'm saying. He's a politician and he's up in there too. He can't. His system. That system is for them, and their system is dysfunctional because it's actually dysfunctional for them. So for him to be up in there, he's got to be a liar in a cesspool, whatever, too. And then the whole thing is
funny. I mean, I just find it odd that Patillo said he's running because he wants the system to work better. Look at this case, how fast it's moving. Other cases are moving.
But how you gonna have the system work better, Scott? If he wants the system to work better, he just need to let Scott McAfee win.
Yeah, exactly. He should not look. If he wants cases to move faster, because as a judge, you are only in control of one courtroom, but as the DA, you are able to make cases go faster than a judge can for all of the courtrooms. But he's not running against Fannie. He's running against Judge. And that's only put political pressure on McAfee to decide in Fannie's case. And I think it's important for people to know that when this whole situation, when she had to take the stand happened, when she walked into the courtroom, it wasn't because she was called and summoned, hey, it's your turn to testify. That's what she chose to do. The judge was about to decide whether or not it was necessary for her to testify. She took it upon herself to come in there. And then that's how she really ended up on the stand. It's not because the judge said, all right, yeah, you know what? I think we're going to need to hear from the DA on this. So get her down here so she can answer some questions. That she didn't give that an opportunity to happen. For all she know, or any of us know, McAfee could have said, yeah, I don't need input from the DA. I got enough to make a decision from what I have before me. And then she proceeds to sit on the stand and does everything she can not to answer the questions that are posed to her, giving us all this other extra information, putting herself in jeopardy by admitting to taking cash from campaign funds and keeping it at the house. Nobody even asked you that. What are you talking about? She did that to herself. I don't know if the IRS or whoever else is going to come after her behind that, but she did that. When you take the stand, you have to be very careful of what you say. It's just like when you're arrested. They said you had the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. The stand is no different.
Well, I'll say it like this.
As the DA, she should know that, right?
Right. But I'm saying like this. What I want to do is see what the hell is McAfee's history.
Okay, so
we know Fanny's.
Okay, I think he was under her when he was in the DA's office. He was a federal prosecutor. I heard him interviewed last week on Shelley's show, and one of the things he said was that when he was appointed to the bench by Kemp, his job was to tackle the COVID backlog of cases. He said when he came in, he had 53 murder cases. Now he has 25. So, and this is in 6 months.
He's gonna tell you good stuff, which is good. That's him talking.
I mean, he didn't go into detail.
What do you think about this? So he's been a judge 6 months. Now he's assigned to a high-profile Trump case.
Mm-hmm.
You think he got enough experience to deal with that, or was he's their man?
I think they gave it to him because he didn't have the experience, hoping that would play into the favor of the Democrats, and he contributed to her campaign.
But this is a Trump man.
Who, McAfee? No.
Yeah,
okay.
He's a Federalist Society guy.
Okay, well, a lot of judges are.
Federalist Society is super conservative. Now, they don't like Trump. Just like, even though they're Republicans, they don't really like Trump.
So does that make him a true guy? Look, he may be one now because of what they've done. I mean,
first off, they are politicians, number one. So that tells us everything we need to know as far as.
I mean, I get why you say that because where he's sitting is an elected position, but
he's a politician. He's a liar.
Hold on, he's a politician now that he's actually running for the seat, but he was appointed, so I can't label him a
politician. He's appointed by a politician.
Yes, he was. I'm saying, but when you're appointed, you didn't run a race to become whatever the position is.
Okay, but you was appointed and you sucked up, or you was cool with the politician who is a liar, and you know that. I'm just saying, like, we need to understand this stuff. Like, this ain't these people. None of them. None. No, not one. Filthy rags. Filthy rags. If you know and that's why I'm trying. I'm just looking into him because the thing is, it's just like you working your job, and then they tell you to, oh, train this little dude. We just hired him off the our high school. Oh, he's your boss now.
Yeah, well, I mean, you do know that Kemp not a Trump guy either, even though Trump helped him win and become governor of Georgia. So
that's my point to you. I know that there's a bunch of Republicans. They're conservative people, but they don't like Trump.
Okay. So do you really think he appointed McAfee to not convict Trump or not?
I don't do what I don't know. See, I don't know. See, if I don't know, I say I don't know. I'm looking.
Yeah, I'm ask you what.
As far as that part, I don't know. I know this is what I'm looking at. I'm just looking right now. I don't like. I'm just saying. Okay, this is. Okay, that's interesting. I'm just looking. I'm saying, okay, he's been a judge 6 months. Like you said, he was appointed to handle the COVID backlogs. He's 34 years old. I mean, and they don't put that Federalist Society on there. You got to find that. I found that from Twitter, some other people talking about him and people that knew him.
Yeah.
But, you know, like I said, I mean, that ain't, you know, they put a bunch of Federalist Society people. That's their system. I mean, Federalist Society, if you go into the history of that was, they was the ones who was against the constitutional, the way that was set up. They were, you know, because that was an argument, the way the, you know, the Declaration of Independence and the ones who set up the constitutional, the one we got, basically the first one, because I mean, not, you know, the first little constitution in 1778, I think. But so you had the Federalist Society. So I mean, you know, so I'm just looking into it. I'm just looking. I'm not, but I mean, to me, I know both of these people are my community's enemies. They don't want us to have nothing, no matter what. Because who's the one who took civics out of school? Who's the group of people who defund our, you know? Because that's how I look at it. I'm not looking. I don't care about none of these people. Like the Republicans, Democrats, bro. I'm serious, really? No. The only reason why I get into some of the politics is to try to convince Black folks to get out of it. Stop thinking about that, because we got an internal politics. When you're talking about like what really matters to our day-to-day life, as far as our Black life, is our families, our businesses that we might create in our areas. Who got this going on? That's what's actually going, where you can send your kids and they can have enough people that believe like them, and you know, that reinforce their thinking. That's what is going to help us as far as, you know, creating businesses and stuff. But the only reason why I even look into some of this politics is be like, okay, here they go. They're going to be targeting us this way. They're going to be targeting us that way. That's all I look at it, because I guarantee you, no matter who gets in there, they're coming after you. They're coming after you. They could put a Black face in there. They could put a white face in there. They're coming after you and your kid. That's just the bottom line. We know this. So, you know, that's how I look at it. I don't be worried about. So, I mean, I'm just looking at the fact that this dude, you know, I mean, they should, I feel like, you know, maybe they should let him win, because I mean, to them, this is their stuff. This system was made for them.
Wait, let who win? Patillo?
McAfee. Nah, Patillo, it don't matter to me. First of all, if Patillo won, the reason why I wouldn't want a Black face in those situations is because okay, we're going to have in those judgeships or whatever, there's going to be nothing but negative and evil coming down the pipe for Black folks. You're not going to get what you want. I would rather have a white face doing that than a Black face.
Okay. I get
why I care. As far as
I get why you say that, because then at least the community might actually stand up, and it won't be necessarily on principle, but it'll be because, well, this is the white man and I got to go against him.
Yeah, it's image. It's imagery. That's why I was saying what I was saying with you with Paul Howard. Like, I don't care about their hearts. I really don't. I don't make too much judgment on their hearts. If they have a good heart, then we'll see it. But a lot of times they don't have a good hearts because they're in that system. They can't survive there and be a person who's a good-hearted person and continue to send millions of people to jail, forcing people to take plea deals. You know damn well they don't need to be in jail. How you gonna keep doing it? They do this every day. They do it every day. They know it. So I'm not looking at their heart. I'm looking at, okay, Okay, this system is always coming down. So you want a white man up there looking at you, telling you, go to jail, or you want a black person up there like, but you got to go to jail. You're still going to jail, and or they're not going to help you with no real rehabilitation. So it's just like you said, putting Barack Obama's face up there.
Oh
you
boy,
still got nothing. You didn't get nothing.
It's zero.
There, a deceit. He's going to deceive. He's going to defund what you want. He's not going to give you what you want, what you need. He's going to mess your community up. But now look at you. You got be our own people. See, I'd rather us be very clear on who's our friends, who's not. Now, when you got a bunch of bootlicking black folks' faces up there who willing to do anything to support the system, it makes us confusing for our group of people. It's very confusing because it's hard for us to see this stuff. Our people are really straightforward type people. We not for the most part. I mean, we got millions of sneaky people. Of course, I ain't saying that. But,
yes.
But I'm saying that just in nature, it's like we can see each other. We can tell, oh, this guy, he ain't really. It's easier for you to see, like, oh, this man, he ain't got no principles about him. Oh man, you would do that? That's your friend. You can just listen to people talking how they talk. We can feel each other easier. But white folks, we don't really. Sometimes they trick us. It seems like it's just easier for them to just do stuff to us, and we don't call them out on it the way we call each other out.
Well, let me say this. I've been in front of a fair amount of judges, and I've been in front of judges that purported themselves well on the bench and just handled business, whether they ruled against me or ruled in my favor. I've also had judges who I've been in front of who absolutely ruled against me, and it wasn't nice.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them were white, some of them were black. That did not purport themselves well in court, and how they handled the proceedings, how they handled me. It's been more black ones who have, for lack of a better term, done me dirty than, and these are civil cases where, in one particular instance, and it was an insurance case, I absolutely had the law on my side. This was a black woman. She cared nothing about that. I cited the law that was on my side, did the research. She cared nothing about that and ruled in favor of the insurance company, even though I had the law on my side.
Yep.
So and that's why I understand.
I say what I say.
That person, I understand, the black and white thing, but I always fall back on what my dad taught me, that you have to take each man as they come, because I've had just as many black judges do me dirty as white judges.
And that's why I say what I said earlier. I'd rather the white judges just win, so that way we can see clearly that you don't have no other option but to get your own community on code. You don't really have an option. It looks very confusing when you see another black person, because that black person is in their system trying to obey their rules. So they are going to persecute you, because that is the job. We say the police is only doing their job. That's the job of the police, is to keep you at a certain level. The job of the judge, the job of but when you put a bunch of black faces in there and you see all this negative stuff coming from even black people, you don't realize that it's actually the system that these people have submitted themselves to. And the insurance company is the boss. This is called capitalism.
hold on. So black people,
go ahead.
So the black people that end up in those positions, shouldn't they be on code as well?
They can't. See, that's what I'm saying. Code is that job. If you go to a job, okay, let's say you start working for a cigarette company. The job is to make cigarettes. You can't be like, oh, cigarettes kill people. Let's make lettuce. Hell no. You know what I'm saying? You can't take, the job is to enslave black folks, to keep you at a second class, third, fourth, fifth class citizenship. The job is to steal from poor people and funnel that money into systems to richer people. And the insurance companies are those richer groups. Okay. This is their system. And the good thing about black people is we're like a captive system. So we just trying to figure this thing out. So they don't have to do their own. You see, back in Europe, they had to steal from their own people. So they had their little lower class, which it was harder for them to do that because they kind of all looked alike. And so they had to kind of come up with different ways to say, oh, the Irish, oh, the Scottish, or this or whatever. But now they're like, oh, the blacks. You see what I'm saying? So it's real easy. They got you. You look different. And plus, you know, they eviscerated your history. You don't really know how that thing running, but we're kind of putting that back together. So they're threatening on that. And so now they can confuse you. It's easy to make you sell. Some of y'all sell out. You know, some of y'all you don't know what code is. Y'all be like, sell out for what? What are we selling out? They don't even know. They don't even know that you are a unique group. You are a group. Everybody in the world realizes that you are a group, but you got thousands of black people talking about, oh, I'm just happen to be black. Every group in the world comes here, they get on code with each other, they start making it happen. They start, they come off poor or whatever. Even if they speak the same language, they be fighting with each other in their countries. But when they come over here, they AAPI. Even the Indian is part of even though they're not looking like Chinese Asians, but they AAPI. So they with each other more than they with us. You see what I'm saying? We don't get it. We really don't get it. And we really refuse to understand how much we don't get and how it affects how we move through the world. You get a lot of these sellouts because they don't understand what they're selling out. They don't understand. Oh, hold on. You want to try to change over?
Try to.
Yeah, let me show you something with this. This is their real bosses. All this political stuff, I realize that these are the scapegoats. These are the people they put in front of us so we can get mad at. It diverts us from the people that's really running this thing. You ain't seeing them. That's it. Their insurance company gonna win. That insurance company gonna win, bro. For the most part, that insurance company gonna win.
Yeah, they're not supposed to when you have long and just presented myself. Now, had I had an attorney, I might have won, but I couldn't really afford an attorney. But I had the law on my side, so that should supersede whether or not I have an attorney or not. And
whether she is the power here, money is the power. They tell us one way.
Look,
they teach us one way.
Mike, and we seeing that because look at what's happening with this case, and the other cases, because Trump has the money. The same way with OJ, he's able to fight them.
Exactly. Now look at them teachers; they couldn't do nothing
at all.
Then them teachers was clean. Their teachers ain't no criminals.
Look,
man, you got this man sitting up here. This judge got the nerve. Go ahead, keep going. I just want to hear this man talk 1 second.
Oh,
you're telling me these teachers.
Go for it.
It was pervasive. It's like the sickest thing that's ever happened to this town.
In a tense courtroom.
The sickest thing that's ever happened to this town. This is Atlanta.
The home of the missing murdered children. and this thing.
Let's say they did help the students and give them an answer here or there. They gave the student a little answer. That's all you telling me that the teacher. I'm telling you the worst thing that they could say. Okay, let's say it was a test, right? It was a test. You telling me that these teachers got to go to jail for 20 years because they seen the student and they was going to sneak and trick, and that is 4, that is 10. 20 years. Come on, man. That's not the sickest thing that ever happened to this town.
No, that's what I said. Missing and murder too. Hey, let's back.
Go ahead.
Let's go to Paul Howard for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Nichols. You know who that is?
I do. I sure do. And I've seen that too. Yep.
Brian Nichols was accused of kidnapping and rape and all this other stuff, but was locked up on trial. Got, if I remember correctly, 2 hung juries. When they talked to Paul Howard about this, he said, well, we're going to keep him in there till we get it right. Well, what the hell does that mean? Look, if you got 2 hung juries, bruh, it's something wrong with your case. It's something wrong with what you bringing because you can't get the conviction. Okay, and I'm not justifying what Brian Nichols did, but everybody has a line, and you don't know where it is, and you don't really know how they're gonna react to it. Well, Brian Nichols may have been the thought, well, they just gonna keep me in here till they convict me, even though you're not really addressing what his fiance did by sleeping with the pastor that they went before, to have counseling before they got married. How she slept with him.
But see, the thing is, though, Leroy, they don't care nothing about that. They have it in their mind that the justice system is a weapon against you.
And that's all well and good, Mike. My point is Paul Howard decided of his own free will as DA to say, we gonna keep him in there till we get it right.
And guess what right is?
It had Paul Howard given Brian Nichols a bond, maybe that judge, maybe that court reporter, maybe the sheriff that was killed outside of the courthouse, maybe the ICE agent that he killed later, maybe all those people are still alive if Paul Howard makes a different decision.
Man,
he refused. Maybe the lady that the correctional officer who was bringing Brian Nichols to the courtroom, maybe she doesn't get beat within an inch of her life by Brian Nichols trying to escape if Paul Howard makes a different decision. So it's not just one thing he's done in his history as DA. It's many.
Leroy, like I said before, you don't get somebody in there. That's what I'm trying to get you to see.
I see it.
It's not you're like, for me, let's say I was to go with what you're saying. Yeah, if I would be truthful, let's say we see the place where we can be truthful and honest is with ourselves and with what we actually see and how it turns out. Now, the thing is, if I was to say, okay, Paul Howard is a monster, right? Okay, he's a monster. Cool. Okay, he works there. No, he's gone. Who else is a monster? It's another monster in there, ain't it? Fannie Willis.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm just saying, this is a function. You said you went to court and you had the law on your side. The insurance company wins. She didn't care nothing about that stuff he was talking about. She didn't care nothing about that stuff you was talking about.
I pray I can in one day, and she has a flat tire, and I'm gonna help her. And right as soon as I drop the car back down on this tire so she can roll off, I'm gonna let her know, yeah, I was before you in court and you ruled against me, even though I had the law on my side. And then I'm gonna walk.
Let me tell you what the law is, though. if you listen to the black people in history, every single year of every recorded time, you find out what black people was telling you for the most part about the law. Now, of course, we always had coons that would say what they were supposed to say. But I'm saying the law is you lose. That's the law. Now you get to win if it's you against another black person or something. Then the law it would make a little more sense sometimes. But you can't testify against no white man. That's the law.
Man, okay,
I'm
well,
trying to tell you, I know this is what's hard for people to see it. Once you see it, then you're gonna see everything gonna line up with what I'm saying. It's not gonna line up with.
I'll show you something that.
Hold on. Listen, the history from back then, from the most cases. Now you're gonna have here and there a case where they try to look like they're being fair, but it's gonna line up with the black people or the poor people losing. You're going to lose, and they're going to win. And in the law, the written word of how they teach us the law's supposed to go, it's going to be on your side, but you're going to lose. That's how it's going to
look. Okay, so I'm black. This other person was black. He's a cop. I got pulled over in Hateville, the same Hateville where Fannie and Wade was doing their thing. And I was stopped. The cop told me I ran a light or a stop sign, which I didn't do. He gave me the ticket. I went to court. Court isn't every week there because it's a smaller place right next to Atlanta, but the judge ruled against me, and he told me, look, just, go take some pictures, come back to court and present it, and, then we'll go from there. But right now I got a rule against you. So I went into the pictures. And the cop was black. I went now the initial case where I messed up was I got into a back and forth with the cop when I should have been addressing the court. That was my fault. I own that. I should have had that differently.
Stop right there, just for a second. Technically, according to the law, that is nothing wrong with that, what you did. And you should not have been extrally punished for that. But because we do live in this system, you're right. That was wrong. You shouldn't have gotten into it. You shouldn't have sassed the overseer.
Okay, so the judge who was white said, go take some pictures of the intersection or whatever and then bring it back. Like I was saying earlier, they don't have court there every week or nothing like that because it's a smaller place. So when I finally, and this is like 1-2 months later, I finally catch court. So I have to wait to the end for them to say, well, is there anyone else here who needs, a case addressed? And so I stood up and approached the bench. Now, mind you, right prior to that, in that moment, that cop was there, and I don't know what he said to that judge, but he walked up to the judge and said something. And
stop right there. Stop. Hold on a second. He was able to communicate directly with the judge. Were you able to do that?
No.
See? Okay, there you go. So keep going.
All right. So I approached the lectern and I began speaking, and I said, Your Honor, I did what you I let them know what happened, that I was stopped. I was told I ran a light or a stop sign when that never happened. The light was green. There was a turning signal to turn left. Oncoming traffic did not move. I made my left. What, I'm supposed to just sit there and wait forever for them to decide whether they're going to go or not? He wasn't moving, so I went ahead and turned left. Your officer pulled me over, and the judge said basically that there's nothing he could do. He saw him in the heart. This is the last thing I said to him, to the judge, and I walked out the courtroom. I did not curse at him. I did not change my voice. I said that, well, Your Honor, you told me to go take pictures and come back to the courtroom. Do you really think I would have done all of that if you had not told me to? and I turned around and I walked out. So I wouldn't get contempt of court. Because what I said to him was very disrespectful. I called him a liar without saying lie. And he didn't do anything to me because he knew I was right. And he knew that cop was full of shit.
He been knew you was right. But the point is, I'm just saying, once we get this and once we actually accept this is a systemic thing, all the different individuals that pile into these little systems, you don't. I mean, if we get into these individuals, we're gonna definitely be able to justify the stuff that we say and believe about these people because they're corrupted people. This is a group of systems that rewards the corrupt and punishes the righteous. So this is what I'm saying. Once we get this, we understand that this is part of what, if you know that you got a prophecy and you got a biblical text and stuff like that, we know that we're supposed to expect this from this type of system. And so it's going to collapse. That's just what it is going to do. And as well, let me just play this real quick because see, they love money. You know how it says the love of money is the root of all evil. Not saying money is the root of all evil. It says the love. See, they love.
Yes.
So I just want to look at this real quick, just so we can see. This is your government. It's not
a lot of people that love.
Mm-hmm. The government that we see, the courts and the politicians, they are this is what the old Jewish thing called scapegoating. They go and they sacrifice a goat and they make it run, take the sins and have it run into the forest or something like that. That's what they do. This is what those politicians are. They're there for us to get mad at. They're there to do us wrong because they got a little bit above us, but they're not the top. These people are the untouchables. You're not even supposed to know who they are, but because their system is breaking down, we see this. And even white people see this now. But the thing is,
that's why white people were about it's a two-tier system all of a sudden. Who've been telling y'all for over 100 years?
Right. But we got to realize this here, guys, black folks. We got to realize now that white people are talking because they feel in pain that they never have. But you got to realize if you was to fix the system, they're going to go back to putting you in the spot where you always been. So that's why it's not smart for us to be worried about let their junk fall. Let it fall.
Then Patillo shouldn't be running against McAfee.
That's
right?
what I say.
Really.
But that you're not going to be able to convince him of that. But I mean, I'm trying to get this. This is for the benefit of us. We're getting too deep into these people's personalities. All of this systemic situation is going to reward people like Patillo if he behaves the way you have no way of punishing him. See what I'm saying? Because the system's going to reward bad behavior and it's going to punish really good behavior, which is of God and principles and honor and all that kind of stuff, truth. It's going to punish you. And then when you when you do this little slick stuff and advocate for what God don't want, it's going to reward you. So we got to understand that the stuff we looking at in a Patillo or Fannie Willis or whoever, okay, it's going to be a certain statistic of people that's going to do that. So we can't even be really worried about those individuals because there's always, how many millions of people are born every day? It's going to be a certain statistic of people that's going to behave like that. And if you got a systemic situation that's not going to punish that behavior, but it's going to actually reward that behavior. So how can you really get that angry? Because let's say you had a right systemic, right? Let's say you had a right system that actually punished people who behaved like some of the stuff we see out of Patillo, or we seen out of Fannie, or out of even McAfee. And I'm not, see, because I ain't trying to be just on the black folks. See, that's a big problem we do. No, the dang on judges, the insurance companies who punish these people. These are the conversations we should be looking at too. These people are $1 billion per day in debt. This is all a trick. And anyway, I want us to get it. Like, if we can see this is their system is collapsing. That's why we see so much dysfunction.
Existing debt. By 2033, that number will be closer to $4 billion. The money that
that's just the interest that they pay on this debt, right? Who gets that money? They don't answer that. Who is getting?
Yeah, they never gonna answer that.
Well, yeah, they're not gonna straight up tell you, but let's see.
pay every single day to finance our deficit cannot be spent on roads, bridges, or infrastructure or our children's future. It is just being spent to finance our deficit.
Okay, so wait a minute. Now let's look at that. Now, this is what I'm saying. Okay, they will steal money from Africa. They will steal money from black people in America. They will steal money from their own poor people in taxes when you go working. They steal money in labor from everybody. But they got to pay this. Okay, well, these people you owe them too much and you can't. Okay, just don't pay it.
Yeah, your fault.
I steal from everybody else, but they act like they have no choice. We have no choice. We can't buy roads. We have no choice. We can't pay for school to make people smarter, to come up with better ideas. We have to just pay these people this debt.
The Federal Reserve.
But who are they? Let's keep
they are.
No, we need to. Okay, we'll let's keep going. You're right. I'm just trying to get it.
Let me say it like we know what come from.
No, we're gonna name them. We're gonna name them. But yeah, Federal Reserve, the people who, not even just the directors, but also the owners of that. That is a private bank. We need to understand this. This bank owns, according to their magic. This is just all on paper, though. We need to understand that all of this stuff here, this is just, they came up with this, and then they get people to submit to it and believe in it. And now this is what we're supporting when we trying to keep this system. We're trying to make it make sense. Oh, we're trying to help it. No, stop. Let it fall. Let them fall. Hold on.
So how did the U.S. get here? For 2 decades after the clock first appeared, the national debt was considered manageable. But that all changed in the wake of the 2008 financial crisis, when 2 things happened. The U.S. economy shrank and borrowing increased.
Our economy plunged, and we had a lot of deficit spending to try to revive it.
Now,
excuse making. See, when you tell them that, I got a problem with my payments, can y'all cut some off and help me out or do something? No, don't do that.
It's time to
repossess your stuff. They come and take your stuff, put you on the street. So when you heard this woman making excuses, we had a lot of deficit spending. Who set up the financial crisis? That was a pandemic. And notice it was about 10 years prior to the other pandemic. Yeah, so anyway.
That's when the current trajectory really grabbed a hold of the country.
By 2013, the continued slow growth, even though it had picked up, and the rising debt put it above 100% for the first time ever. So our debt was above the size of our economy.
This comparison is known as the debt to GDP ratio, and it's often used by economists to gauge the fiscal health of a nation.
Even though that was a high level, it pretty much stayed flat for about a decade.
That is, until everything changed.
See, so they're creating these pandemics, right? I'm just telling you, this is the system. That's why when you said you was going against the insurance agency at that point, this is these people. You're not, I mean, do you know how much money we have to win against the insurance company? A nice amount. Now, they will let you win some stuff, but you have to pay for the attorney, of course. But if you go in there with just the law, they don't respect no law, just some law. They literally laugh at this. They laugh at us when we come in like that. They laugh at us when they think about us like that. He came in with no attorney or nothing. He just come in and talk about the law. That's why Patillo laugh at us. He's an attorney. It's a cesspool. This is what this whole thing is designed to protect. I don't hear you if you're talking. You're on mute. But this whole thing is a cesspool. Go ahead. Yeah, this whole thing is. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, the system is jacked. You know, we've been known. Just when our people decide to get involved with it and they are on code, so to speak, they work against us. And to me, they're no better than the white man that's out to get us.
But you got to realize, though, but you got to understand it if you're going to actually protect yourself. I'll say protect your group or community, and also protect your mentality, because you can dismantle a system. You can convince people. You can dismantle a system if you don't really understand the real law behind it, on how the thing actually works, what hurts them, what helps them for real, then what you're trying to use, it's almost like if sometimes you see some of the Dracula vampire movies when somebody will run after Dracula and he's about to get him and they'll pull a little cross out. And he just laugh at him and grab it, throw it away. That's what we look like sometimes, coming to them with some Constitution and stuff. They're laughing at us. If you don't see what their mechanics is to their system, what really hurts them, who really need to be exposed, then they got you fighting each other. That they have the teachers fighting the parents fighting the teachers. They'll have the Mexicans fighting the black people, illegal immigrants fighting the citizens, which, I understand they got us scrapping for resources. And people like Fannie, like Patillo, they just think they better than people like us. They are food for the machine. They could be put in jail tomorrow. They could come up with anything.
Yeah, and
that's why I'm saying we can revel in the fact, and it feels good. Oh, look what you got now. You know what I'm saying? You thought you was all of that, and now look at you. You're in jail, or you're getting disbarred or something. Ha! And to us it feels like, but really we have done nothing. We have done nothing to dismantle that system, that root that continues to report this type of person. That's why the scripture says, what? Are you going to fight against flesh and blood? Is that your fight? Hold on, you kind of blocked out. Hold on, you're blocking out. You're blocking out a little bit. Okay, yeah, you cutting in and out, but I know what you said. Yeah, it's not the flesh and blood; it's the spiritual. It's the spiritual system in high places, principality in high places. Yeah. So that's why I'm not worried about no Fanny and I mean, I kind of look at it. I'm not saying I don't look at it, but I'm not so angry at these people as if they have some control. They have not. They're like in the water. They go if I didn't do it, somebody else would. So yeah, so true enough, you got to fight them. I'm not saying that we support that mess or we fall for this mess, but I'm not so. Yeah, they're not going to get me that easy. Yeah, they're not going to get me that easy. Let's go back to some of this here. This is the system, and anybody who integrates into their system, you're going to fall with them. So let's look at this.
COVID happened and our borrowing catapulted higher, sending checks to businesses and consumers. The Fed did their part, cutting interest rates to near zero. While that was helpful, that ended up sparking a spike in inflation. That eventually led to higher interest rates as the Fed had to pivot to combat inflation.
Shut down.
The Democrats have never wanted to stop the amount of spending.
How do you explain to taxpayers that makes any sense?
Every year, Washington plays political football, avoiding the hard decisions to balance the budget.
An 11th hour compromise always saves the day, but it also kicks the can down the road because the underlying problem isn't fixed.
This hasn't escaped the eyes of our U.S. credit rating agencies. Fitch recently downgraded the U.S. credit rating by one notch, taking it off AAA.
It was a historic decision based on a lot of wrangling in Congress over our deficit, and it also had a lot to do with some of the political instability that the world has seen coming from Washington. Fitch predicted that by 2025, the debt to GDP ratio will be 118%. And that number is 3 times the average of other similar countries.
They're basically saying, Washington, you are still on notice.
But here's the thing. There are real-life solutions for the U.S. to reach a healthy debt equilibrium. But as you can imagine, none of them are easy.
You see, this is all a game. It's debt is to control you, to be able to make you do and operate in a way where you're under the control of a certain group of people. What's going on? You back? Can you go ahead?
Yeah, I'm back on the tablet. Let's see how long it lasts.
Yeah. But see, I just want to expose this system. This is where they don't want our eyes focused on this. When we start doing, I can't really do shows about, the elders of Zion, and this guy, he does one on for example, like I'll show this one just a little bit, just see if I can find it. But like the Chizars, Karimo, right? When they do those shows on those Zionists and people like that, our people don't. They don't understand it. They don't get it. They don't see how that don't have nothing to do with this. That don't have nothing to do with this. Like, dude, this is the thing. This is the problem. All this other stuff, we wouldn't even have a Fannie or even if Fannie and Paul Howard, let's say Fannie, Paul Howard, and Patillo, let's say they were there. They would not be behaving this way in order to survive in the system because it would not reward them. See, these people they're like little puppies or, pets. It's like, if reward and punishment, that's what it is. So it's like, if we really care, we got to deal with that. That's where the eyes need to be. That's why I'm not even like, even do we realize even this other community has a dang on has influence on our the food, okay, and the chemicals. Like I showed these other people who was transes or whatever they are. This here, wine twins.
Yeah, lying twins.
But I'm like, if you just look at these people, like, you couldn't tell.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad I'm married.
Exactly. You couldn't tell with that. Just looking at them. And that's a shame.
I mean, that medicine, man, that medicine is strong.
But
That
their
medicine is
brains,
strong.
look, but see, these people, like, let me show you this another little thing they got here. Oh, no, not this one.
What's up?
This is the same group, these little kids. They got, let me see, let's show this.
Okay, girl.
Now, how the hell you get, what the, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. You got somebody pregnant, you got a trans man pregnant?
Yes, she was delusional. Like, she was crazy. She got her pregnant. She had to go to take to what, a pharmacy or right? I had to go to the pharmacy. No, the trans man was so crazy and delusional. Oh my God. And she was like, oh, I already like 10 different Plan Bs at the house. I'm gonna take it. So I was like, hell nah. I'm gonna go to CVS, to the pharmacy. You're gonna come with me and we're gonna get a Plan B because I don't know too much about it. And then it was like, I don't know how much I paid. I know it was a little bit expensive, probably like $30 or $20-something. This is like 2 years ago. But I watched her take the pill and throw it back. Watched him, because I'm sorry, yeah, I watched him take the pill and throw it back. But I just moved to Atlanta a little bit fast. I thought it was a guy. Well, it is a guy, but you know, I never knew till he was like, I'm a trans man. And where I'm from, it's not like trans men or whatever. Like a lot of trans men that we knew about. Yeah, Atlanta is like really open with things. So I was like, oh, okay, what is a trans man? And he was like, I'm female to male. So I was like, oh shit, you look good. You know, do you have a penis? And he was like, no, I still got a vagina. So it took me through like one of them loops as us telling a guy that we're trans and he like thinking about it. And it was like, okay, let me try it. But you was in love with it. That's why you did it. So bitch, shut up.
Oh, you see what the they do?
What? You got power, huh? You got power.
It produces resources.
You fucked the man before too, girl. And a trans man that you got pregnant. Okay, girl.
So this is what we got going on nowadays. This is now we think, oh, this is a totally separate issue. This is a totally separate issue, but it's not, because I showed y'all how what they do. I showed y'all this before.
Dr. Mark Breedlove at Michigan State University says he can take this male rat and make it behave like a female for the rest of its life, and vice versa for a female, just by altering the hormones it's exposed to right at birth.
We forget this. They do this stuff. This is the system. They're creating a confused situation in the world. They're putting all these extra chemicals in the food. I mean, bro, like, we don't even see this. This is how crazy. It don't make no sense. And it's all because they realize that as they're going down, the groups historically, the groups who were at the bottom can have now a chance to take over. And they're terrified. This is their economy and their money and their military is their power. If you can't pay your military soldiers, they're not going to work. If you can't pay your police, they're not going to work. So there goes your military, there goes your protection. Who are they protecting themselves against? They're protecting themselves against being held accountable according to the law that they hold us accountable to. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, we got to understand, like, this thing here, let it fall. Their politics, it's going to look crazy. Let it go. Fanny, all that stuff, you know, Tasha K, all that stuff, you know, just let that stuff go. And all we got to do is be focused, making sure that our people don't get swept up in this madness. That's the only reason why I talk about some of that stuff now, is because it's like we get swept up in this madness like it's like it matters. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
but we also got to recognize that when they cross us, when they get caught up in the same thing, we should step back and let them have it. I mean,
the whole thing has to have it, though. That's my point.
I mean, I get that. I get that. That's why I don't vote. But I'm just saying. in this particular instance, she went after some teachers and their teaching license. Now she is in a situation of her own making
That's
that
right.
jeopardizes her license.
That's a fact. And that's what I said.
Okay, so
That's
she,
what I'm saying. It's gonna turn around. They're going to get theirs. Even like you said, Patillo, all of these folks, all of them, they ain't no different. They just let them get a little bit of extra above you to see. Because see what you Leroy gonna do if you put Leroy in the situation and you can't punish him, then he gonna bring some justice. And he's going to punish the people who behave badly and reward the ones who, do good. See, they don't want that.
No. That's why they called Patillo and said, "Hey, man, we need you to run against McAfee because he ain't doing right. He looking like he gonna do our girl dirty."
That ain't why.
Why?
McAfee is going to do right, but they want Patillo to do wrong in that seat. See, right is punishing the people. If you can't have if in black people, see, they got to keep you confused. You got to have a black face punish the black people. They learned that from the 60s. When the white man or a white person killed Martin Luther King, we tore the whole place up. We tore this place up.
Yeah.
The white people was going against the Black Panthers, there was unity. The black people was like, hell no. So when they started having the black people, their little paid agents, killed the black people, the black leaders, then they noticed, they say, oh, damn, that creates confusion for them. Oh, look at that, internal fighting. Let's keep doing that. See, we don't get this thing. That's because we don't see how this, when they learn something in history, they keep doing it. Okay, this is what they do. When they realize when they send their people to kill us, then we fight them, all fight them. But when they get one of our little bootlicks with our black face, and then they send a black person to do the dirty deed, and you're gonna be infighting, and that keeps them safe. See what I'm saying? Yeah. See, we ain't getting it. See, it creates internal anger. Because now you just like you saying basically the same thing you said, like, oh, you did just as bad. So now we don't know who to trust. You see, but back in the 60s, you was all clear. You was like,
we know who to trust. We know who not to trust. People that work for the system, whether they black or white.
Nah, because I mean, when you say work for the system, there's a lot of people, but they're on low levels. But yeah, I don't care. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I'm on that.
I mean, but I've been there. That's why I ain't never signed up to vote for none of them.
Right. I trust that they're going to keep bringing down negative on us. Now, true enough, because this one did bad this time. Now I want this one to lose. This one did bad for me now. Now I want that one to lose. It's just a back and forth game. But you got to step right out of that whole thing. I stepped right out of that whole thing. And then that's when they really going to be like, oh, you crazy. Because they can say you crazy now, but they're going to be really like, oh, what you going to do? That's when they really be like, well, what's your plan, genius? Okay. What's your plan, genius? I'm like, bro, the plan is to let the whole thing, well, if it collapses, we're just going to hurt other black people. You're going to hurt black people if it collapses. We already being hurt. Let that thing stop trying to get out into it that way. If we strengthen our self-reliance, we don't need them like that. Now their system is going to collapse. That don't mean the land and everything is going to evaporate. This is a systemic collapse. It's a system that deserves to collapse. People like Fanny Patillo, he's trying to make it right. No.
And then has the nerve that no, I'm not running to put political pressure on her. Because Stella asked him, he said, well, some people will might believe that, you just being put up to basically get McAfee in line and make sure he do the right thing, which is the right thing by Democrats, and rule in Fannie's favor and keep her on the case. And really, for the decision she's made, you might want to keep her on the case because she's not making good decisions.
Exactly.
And
the thing is, that's what I said. Like, it's kind of like TV. You can look at it, but it's not really. You got to realize it's supposed to collapse.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
The thing is, everybody in there, they will get. You're gonna get hurt. Everybody up in there that's trying to advocate for this integration into this system. Look, they're telling you themselves. That's why I play this. Their whole thing is collapsing. They're telling you they could have gave us 20. Okay, so look, this person, they tell us in this little video that in 2000, there was just over 5 trillion in debt.
And now, what is it, 30?
34 trillion.
Yeah.
So think about this. In 2000, 5 trillion. Now from 1776 to 2000, 5 trillion, which is real bad. But
and in
now,
23 years, it jumped up a whole nother 25 trillion.
29 trillion. And they still ain't gave us reparations, which they could have took care of that in 20 years with just at that time, they could have took care of it with 10 trillion.
Oh yeah, but the interest keep accruing.
But see, if you want to make stuff go right, the right way according to God, you would produce justice. You would do you would do justice, and that's doing the right. But see, they don't want to do that, so they're going to collapse, and that's what it's for. They're supposed to, and guess what's making them collapse is natural disasters, is
greed,
pandemics, is pandemics, is dumb stuff. So they're being removed. So we need to stop. We want to get in the way. No.
Well, those of us who are siding with them can go down with them.
Well, we're going to go down with them if we side. But see, that's the point. What it is they got us in this duplicitous dynamic where we're thinking like, oh, we're going to side against this bad person, and so we're going to side with the other side. Either side of that, you're messed up.
Let's be clear. Me wanting to see Fannie go down has nothing to do with Trump or any of that. It has everything to do with what she did to them teachers. Everything. It has everything to do.
I'll say it like this: it's not. She's already gonna go down, but
she ruined.
It's not about. It's. I'll say it like this: I don't want to see my people go down. I'll say it that way. Okay.
I don't want to see my people go down as a whole. I'm talking about individuals.
No, even individuals. I want to see even individuals. I want to see individuals change their mind because
of course that's what Mike. Of course that's what we all want. That's what we all want. But those people have made it explicitly clear that they are not for us, no matter how much they look like us.
But like I said, Leroy, only thing I'm seeing, I agree with what you're saying, and you are right. They're going to go down, but like I said, like this, the only issue that I would ask you to think about is I would not. It's like this. I don't want to see if I try to tell my people, hey, this trans thing or this behavior, I don't give a damn what you want. They might cuss me out like people cuss Jesus out or did it. But the thing is, let's say they change their ways. That's a blessing. Just like you said, the trans people can change their ways.
Look, I'm open. I'm open for those.
So that's how I do it. That's how. I'm just saying that's how I think. Now, 9 times out of 10, they're not gonna change their ways. But it's like
No, they're not.
in my heart, for my own salvation and my own thing, I'm not going to say I hope. You know, for me,
It
that's
ain't
my salvation. To me, I'm like,
okay, well,
I hope what God wants happens. I'll say it that way. I'll do it that way.
yes, and God wants evil to go down. No, evil is going down no matter what the color is.
But sometimes evil goes up before it goes down. So
I
that's
mean,
what I'm saying.
evil looks like it's winning. It ain't winning.
Sometimes, yeah.
It's not winning.
Yeah.
It may look like that, but it's not winning. That's why it's collapsing.
Right.
Because it doesn't produce, it reduces, it eliminates.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I see.
It's down because I got some business to take care of. Hey, we got to do some more stuff though. I'm gonna try to do something straight up on just the debt thing because I think people need to know more about that, and also the people who own the debt, the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, the first and ultimate Ponzi scheme that runs to this day. They put Madoff in jail, but they need to be putting the Federal Reserve up under the prison, along with the
They made that
IRS.
prison stuff. So anyway, let's
Look,
go. Let's get into that a little bit later.
Along with the IRS. They all need to go.
Peace out.
Yep.